Coronation Street is gearing up to reveal the identity of the victim at the center of its looming death mystery, with a corpse due to be uncovered before the month is out. Antagonist Theo Silverton has been named among 5 possible characters who could meet a brutal fate, and the latest episode appeared to drop clues about who might be behind his potential downfall. The installment picked up right after the dramatic cliffhanger earlier in the week, showing a badly injured Todd Grimshaw coming forward to report Theo for a violent attack. As the police began gathering statements and evidence, Todd bravely spoke about the long period of abuse he had endured during their relationship. He described how Theo had cut him off from friends and confined him to their home to hide the visible injuries inflicted on him. Despite everything, Todd still tried to justify Theo's actions, becoming emotional as he spoke about a kinder side to him and insisting that Theo would regret what he had done. Elsewhere on the street, Todd's friends and family were left shaken after seeing the extent of his injuries. With his behavior now fully exposed, Theo attempted to escape, but Gary Windus intercepted him and made it clear he intended to take him to the authorities. Gary confronted Theo with a tool found in his vehicle, pointing out that it carried his fingerprints. He warned that if things escalated, it could easily support a claim of self-defense, using this as leverage to ensure Theo cooperated. After Todd gave his statement, he later appeared in the police station's reception area where Sarah Platt was anxiously trying to contact Gary. Shortly afterward, Gary arrived with Theo, who continued to protest his innocence in front of everyone. During questioning, Theo was presented with photographs showing the severity of Todd's injuries. He insisted that he had only acted to protect himself, but the officers remained doubtful of his explanation. They informed him that his electronic devices would be taken for further investigation, particularly to access hidden recordings, before placing him in a cell. At the same time, Sarah took Todd to the hospital for medical attention, but he suddenly collapsed as he stepped out of the car. In the waiting area, several close friends were left deeply distressed upon learning how serious his condition was. One of them expressed intense anger, questioning how anyone could treat Todd so cruelly, even going as far as threatening revenge in a moment of emotional outburst. With it recently coming to light that Theo may also have been responsible for another tragic death, those words could carry more weight than they initially seemed. As tensions continue to rise, the question remains, will someone act on that anger, and could Theo ultimately become the victim at the center of this unfolding mystery? Coronation Street is set to deliver a touching twist as Lisa pulls off a heartfelt surprise for Carla on their wedding day. With their original venue no longer available due to the function room being unusable, Lisa secretly puts an alternative plan into motion to ensure the ceremony can still take place. She convinces Carla that they've simply been invited to enjoy a complimentary meal, but as they step into the Chariot Square Hotel, Carla is left stunned when she spots a beautifully arranged corner featuring a wedding arch. The surprises don't stop there, as Ryan soon appears with glasses of champagne, followed by Roy and Betsy carrying their wedding attire. Lisa reassures Carla that a grand venue isn't necessary for them to make their commitment official, which leaves Carla overwhelmed with joy. Surrounded by their close companions, the couple walk side by side down the makeshift aisle. They then share deeply personal vows before exchanging rings in an emotional and intimate ceremony. Later, back on the street, Carla's attention is suddenly drawn elsewhere when she hears the factory alarm sounding. Determined to deal with the issue, she insists on heading over immediately. However, things aren't quite what they seem. As they step inside, Carla is amazed to find the space completely transformed, with decorations and their friends gathered to celebrate at a surprise wedding reception. Meanwhile, over at the bistro, Eva opens up to Leanne and Toya, revealing that Megan recently confessed to having slept with Will, leaving them all stunned by the revelation. At the same time, Carl arrives at the hotel after being called there. Debbie hands him an envelope filled with money and firmly tells him that she wants no further contact with him, making her intentions crystal clear. Elsewhere, a nervous Jody shares a troubling story, convincing Shona that Olivia's father is actually her abusive former partner. She produces a hard drive, claiming she took it from him and that he is now after her life. Alarmed by the situation, Shona warns that since Olivia knows where she lives, danger could be closer than they think, urging Jody to leave immediately to protect herself. In another development, Todd returns to the flat above the shop to collect his remaining belongings as he prepares to leave the area and start a new chapter abroad in Thailand. Coronation Street is set to deliver a dramatic turning point as Debbie Webster reaches breaking point with Carl, ultimately deciding she can no longer tolerate his behavior and choosing to cut him out of her life completely. For years, Debbie has remained fiercely supportive of her son, standing by him despite his repeated mistakes. However, as the storyline builds toward the show's major death mystery later in April, Carl's actions begin to cross a line that even she can't ignore. Concern quickly takes over when Debbie receives news that Carl has been admitted to hospital, leaving her fearing something serious has happened. But following a tense and emotional clash between them, she is left stunned by shocking new information that changes everything. It soon becomes clear that Carl's financial troubles are far worse than anyone realized. Deeply in debt and desperate, he plans to pressure Debbie into handing over control of the Chariot Square Hotel by resorting to blackmail. When this comes to light, Ronnie Bailey urges Debbie not to give in, warning her against allowing Carl to manipulate the situation. Still, the question remains as to what has pushed Carl into making such extreme choices. Caught between loyalty to her husband and her bond with her son, Debbie is forced into making a painful decision. She calls Carl in for a private conversation and firmly tells him that he will not be taking over her business under any circumstances. Instead, she offers him a substantial sum of money on one strict condition, that he leaves Weatherfield for good and never attempts to contact her again. The heartbreaking moment raises doubts over whether Debbie can truly shut Carl out of her life forever, or if there is still a chance for him to turn things around. With a mysterious death looming, speculation grows that Carl could end up as the victim, making his situation even more uncertain. Earlier in the year, the show teased the storyline with a flash-forward scene featuring Betsy Swain speaking to police after discovering a body. The unsettling event unfolds on the same day as Carla and Lisa's wedding. Although the couple hear a scream during the celebrations, they remain unaware of the tragedy until much later. Several names have already been put forward as possible victims, including Carl, Jody Ramsey, Maggie Driscoll, Megan Walsh, and Theo Silverton, leaving viewers guessing who will meet their fate. Reflecting on the unexpected twist during the wedding storyline, Allison King, who portrays Carla, shared her excitement at the dramatic turn, noting that it added an extra layer of intensity while still allowing the couple to enjoy their special moment. Vicky Myers, who plays Lisa, also commented on the scene, explaining that the characters initially dismissed the scream as something harmless and continue enjoying the celebrations, unaware of what has really happened. She added that the aftermath will test them early in their marriage, particularly as Betsy is directly affected by discovering the body, but their shared experiences have prepared them to face challenges together as a united family. The show continues to air on weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1, with episodes also available to stream on ITVX.